Welcome to Beyond the Lift Hill, the podcast where we talk about everything in the world of theme parks.
We're two brothers who live for the thrill and adventure, bringing you reviews and deep dives into the best parks around.
Because every park has a story, and we're here to tell it.
Welcome in to Beyond the Lift Hill. My name's Alex.
Hey, and I'm Adam. You can find us at Adam's Adventures 365 on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. What's going on?
Not much. What's going on with you?
Lots of time at Dollywood, finally.
Yes. Yeah, the parks are starting to reopen. Spring is officially here. It's been great. Son and I went to the Indianapolis Zoo today and got to ride a coaster as well. So it's been good.
Cool. What coaster did you get to ride?
This is the combo coaster there. It's been around since the late I guess late 2008, whatever you'd call that. Like 2008 I think is when it was built. But yeah, I mean it's definitely a kiddie type coaster, but right now that's good enough for me.
Cool. Absolutely. Yeah, anything to find a ride right now, and you can add
Yeah.
it to your coaster credit.
And I can add it to the coaster credit. Yep.
Absolutely.
Yep. So logistics here up front. So we've taken a few weeks off. My family welcomed a future coaster enthusiast that we're going to be training, raising up the right way here. So we just took a little bit of time off to adjust, and but now we're back and should be on a weekly cadence now again. So yeah, I guess I just wanted to get that out of the way and explain why folks hadn't been hearing from us.
Yeah,
But
and congratulations.
thanks. Yeah.
That's where you're supposed to say congratulations to me too.
I was gonna say, yeah, you're an uncle now.
That's right.
Yeah, awesome. All right, well, man, you said a lot of Dollywood time. You were just at Dollywood this past weekend, where I heard it was quite busy. Tell us about that.
Yeah, absolutely. So yes, we drove down Friday morning.
Yeah.
Park opened at 10. We got there, I would say probably around 8:45, 9 o'clock. Didn't have any trouble parking. Got out of the car, started making our way in toward the park, started shooting some of our video, which is already out on YouTube. You can go check us out there. We did a video on Pass Holder Preview Day, and we also just launched a video on the I Will Always Love You Music Festival. So both of those are out there as well for everyone to check out. But got through security, got in line to enter the park. We actually, something new that Dollywood is doing this year are these collectible stickers.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is of the grist mill where you get, of course, the world famous cinnamon bread. So if you've been to Dollywood, you get that all the time, I'm sure. If not, you got to check that out.
Okay,
Yeah.
real quick, I
Yep.
gotta stop you. So, did you get cinnamon bread this time?
2 loaves.
Okay. I read a post on Facebook. Someone had said that the Dollywood has ruined cinnamon bread and it doesn't taste the same.
I
True
saw
or
that
false?
post. So ours was the old-fashioned same cinnamon bread that we're accustomed to. I did see that
Okay.
post though, and it did not look anything like what cinnamon bread looks like. So I don't know. I mean, I'm not saying it was a fake. It could have
Yeah.
just been that they, got a bad batch or something like that. But we will definitely report on that if anything changes. But as of now,
Yeah.
I'm going to say it's the typical cinnamon.
Okay. Yeah. Too important not to bring up and report
Yeah.
on. That would be huge news if the cinnamon bread recipe had changed because yeah, that's widely regarded as the best thing in that park.
Right. Yeah, that would be life altering news. We
It would be.
cannot change the cinnamon bread. Don't change anything in the recipe, the icing,
Yeah.
the apple butter. Keep all that
That's right.
nastiness in the bottom of the pan. Just you can't mess with any of it.
That's right, because as it stands right now, it's glucose altering.
Right, right. Yeah, it has to be as unhealthy as possible. So
It is.
Dollywood, do not mess with our cinnamon bread.
That's right.
Yes.
Cool. So anyway, opening day carry on. I know you went to a media event and all that you were saying.
Right. Yep. So we got inside the park. as best I remember, I think the operation of getting everybody in on time, all of that went smooth. The
Yeah.
crowds, it was a large crowd early on. It didn't feel completely overwhelming at first.
Yeah.
More on that later. So we got in, we made our way over toward Celebrity Theater. Just a quick rundown on how they did the media event this year. So if you had a Diamond Pass, they sent out emails randomly to what they said were going to their longest standing Diamond Pass holders. I have had a
Hmm.
Diamond Pass for 2 years. Many more people have had them longer than that, so I did not receive an email invite to the event, but they did offer a standby line for
Hmm.
Diamond Pass holders who did not receive an email. So made my way over that way, taking my chances just getting in a standby line. If you're familiar with Dollywood, got over to the Celebrity Theater, so made my way up the hill, into the or from the Market Square area up the hill toward the
Yeah.
Celebrity Theater, started going back toward the Owens Farm area, and saw what I thought was the end of the line. So I thought, oh, well, this isn't bad. There was probably, I don't know, 75 to 100 people. So I thought, well, this is going to be good. I'll get in. This is great. Soon as I make my way over, I realize that the line carries down the hill,
Yeah.
going going in toward Rivertown Junction, down
Classic.
by. It was actually right in front of what's the restaurant there? Aunt Granny's. So made my way to the end of that line. They had a staff person there. Asked the guy, I was like, "Hey, do you think that I'm going to have a shot on getting into the media event from here?" And he goes, "Yeah, I think so." And not going to lie, my first thought was, "You're lying," but I'm going to stand here, just to see. But credit
Yeah.
to that guy. Sure enough, we get up there, had no problem getting in.
Okay.
By the time I made my way into the theater, there were, without overestimating, there was at least 100 seats that were still open. To the
Okay.
point, I actually called my wife, who also has a Diamond Pass, and she had not even really attempted. She was just kind of hanging out down on Show Street. I was like, hey, you could probably easily get in if you want to come up. And she was kind of concerned about would other people file in, and we wouldn't be able to sit together and that sort of thing. I was like, no, trust me, if you come, worst case, I move and we can easily find two seats together. But
Yeah.
but as far as that goes, yeah, was able to make it in. Great event. Dolly was there, of course. Her
Nice.
husband had recently passed. It
Yeah.
had been, I guess, by the
Couple weeks.
time. I'm
Yeah.
sorry, say that again.
Oh, I just said it'd been a couple of weeks, right? I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Maybe like 10 days to 2 weeks. I forget the exact timeline, but recent enough to where wasn't really sure if she'd be there or not. Certainly
Yeah.
understandable if she wasn't. But she was there. Had thanked everybody for their thoughts, prayers. Just condolences, that kind of thing, and then. They went into kind of what's going on at the park this year, kind of the standard, the talking about the current festival, talking about the food and flower festival coming up, or flower and
Hmm.
food, or some combination of those names, talking about the summer celebration, harvest
Yeah.
festival, Smoky Mountain Christmas. Seems a lot of what we're used to through those festivals. I do know that the one thing that we learned out of this media event, I think it was kind of out there before we may have talked about it, is they're doing kind of a revamped night show for the summer. They're still going to do the dance
Oh, cool.
party, the
Yeah.
fireworks, things like that, but it's going to have more of a 40th theme to it. And
Okay.
then over in the country fair, they're also going to be doing some new things as far as decorations and whatnot during the fall and Christmas time.
Got it.
Yeah,
Okay. Very cool. Now, at the media event, they also announced some sort of, or they teased some sort of a 2026 thing. It was like Take Flight or something like that, right?
right. Yeah, we were able to see a short clip of that. And if we can find that clip, we will put it in here.
Yeah.
Then, if we did not find that clip, then I'm sorry, guys. It's got to be out there somewhere. So definitely
I'll
go
find
check
it.
that
I'll
out.
put, yeah.
Yeah, I think you
I'll
could
make sure
probably. Yeah, I think you could probably find it. So, Put that in there, Alex.
Yeah, I will. So, question: do you have any? I mean, the teaser didn't reveal a whole bunch. Do you have any? I mean, I think it's a coaster, right? It has to be a coaster.
No, I think at this point it's probably going to be something like Soarin', like Skyfly, over at the
Okay.
island in Pigeon Forge. Me and my wife were talking. She kind of has a good theory that I hadn't thought about, and
Yeah.
the only thing I can think of to relate this to, and you know a little bit more about Kentucky Kingdom than I do, so you might have to help me on
Yeah.
this, but the new, like, smaller kid ride that they're putting in, like the bird ride, how the vehicle just kind of travels around on a suspended track or whatever. Um,
Yeah.
Maybe it could be something like that. I still think at the end of the day, it's going to be something like Soarin' or something like Skyfly. But I do think there'll be some kind of element there that is different, because they've been saying all along that it's something that hasn't been done before.
Yeah.
So I think it'll be something, again, something like Soarin' slash Skyfly, but with a different element. And I believe there's also a new ride that we just learned about at SeaWorld, that's
Okay.
kind of like a Soarin'. So it could, I believe the information on that was there was some new technology as well. So it could kind of take from that as well, but we'll have to see. I do know, if you go out and watch our video, from Pass Holder Day, I was able to get some footage over in Wildwood Grove,
Mhm.
where they have already started construction. You can already see the trucks and the machines moving around. Not sure you can see it in my video, but they already have, some of the metal, some of the, beams and whatnot, kind of there on site, ready to get going.
Cool. Okay. Well, that's good. So, how many coasters did you ride on Friday on opening day?
Um, okay, so on Friday, let me see. So it was, that many.
Zero. Okay. Yeah, I kind of knew the answer to that. But
Yeah,
look
yeah,
that up for you.
yeah.
Yeah.
So, just for the sake of time, so we can kind of, move along to the other things that we have to talk about. Just a quick rundown on the rest of Friday. So, did the media event. Was able to kind of walk around the park, see all the new things. There's like a new Dolly sign, some new stuff, in Country Fair. There, we got
Yeah.
to see a little bit of the, construction for the new restaurant up in, yeah, that place up in,
Okay.
Wilderness Pass. And then, of course, a little bit on the new ride as well. Added some new timbers, along the, pathway in Timber Canyon. But, yeah, so we got to see some of that. Also, Dolly was there, as I'd mentioned, had the parade. That video is, I believe it's out on Facebook. So check that out there if you're interested in seeing the Dolly parade. But all that to say, that was pretty much our Friday. We did not get to do any coasters. We didn't really attempt to, because it was a madhouse. I
Yeah.
believe they had a park record for attendance. Um, don't hold me to this. I think it was roughly 24,000 people. Which, if you're at Disney, maybe that's not that much, but for Dollywood, that's
It's a
it's
lot
it's, it's
for a
packed.
regional.
Yep, yep.
Yeah.
If you're interested, we don't have the footage, but go out there, again on YouTube. I think there is some footage that some people captured on Show Street. It just shoulder to
Yeah.
shoulder, could not move right after the parade. We did that last year down on Show Street, and, learned our lesson last year. So this year we watched the parade, from the village area near the train tracks. Much better that way. The parade actually starts up there, so if you watch from there, as soon as the parade starts, most of the crowd normally follows the parade. And if you choose not to, you just kind of, wait for the crowd to pass you by, and then, it's just smooth sailing from there. So, little pro tip for those of you that might want to watch the parade, but, also
Yeah.
enjoy doing other things right after the parade. Don't get
Okay.
stuck on Show Street.
That's a good tip. So
Yep.
on Friday, the crowds, yeah, you were saying they were crazy. The combination, like, do you think it was the combination of like it being bad weather on Saturday and then Dollywood's horrible policy of letting pass holders bring friends and family that aren't? pass holders?
I think it's a combination of all of that.
Yeah.
Definitely, I think the weather forecast, which fortunately there was some rain on Saturday and Sunday, but it was not, it was mostly like pop up showers,
Yeah.
spot showers. By no means was it beautiful days. It was not. You definitely had to pick your times and just kind of do what you could do. But luckily, for what the forecast was, the weather turned out to be pretty good. But I do think we're obviously on Friday, you didn't know what the weekend was going to hold. I think a lot of
Yeah.
people had that mindset of we got to get there today because there may not be a rest of the weekend. So I
Right.
think it was a combination of that, but also pass holder day combined, media event, and also a lot of new stuff at the park. They have new things every year, but I feel like this year more new things have been highlighted. I think it's the 40th anniversary. Dolly obviously was there. I also think a lot of people, just given Dolly's situation recently, I think a lot of people wanted to be there to show support. So I
Yeah.
think it was a combination of a lot of things. But
Mhm.
also last year was really busy too on pass holder day. So I think as we go now, I think every year it's just going to get busier and busier, especially with Dolly being there.
Yeah, what they need to do is like they have Friday be the pass holder day, and if they're gonna allow like bring your friends, that's fine. But maybe make Thursday like the gold and diamond pass holder preview day only, and have it limited to just those tiers. Because again, I think the whole reason you have a pass holder preview day is to allow for shorter lines and allow pass holders to have a benefit. There's no benefit if the park is overrun. Why open a day early to have the park overrun?
Right.
Like
Well,
that is the whole purpose of a pass holder preview, right?
right, yeah, and I would like to see something, and maybe to your point, I know people buy silver passes, and that's
Yeah.
great, and there's certainly benefits to that. But when you buy the gold and the diamond, that is more of a tier up. So maybe, hey, maybe not diamond and gold. Maybe do all your season passes, but I would like to see something where it feels more exclusive just to the pass holders.
Yeah. Yeah, because Holiday World does that. They have a platinum pass holder day that's on Friday, and then they have an all pass holder day on Saturday, and then their opening day is on Sunday. And to me, that one platinum only day is worth the price of the upgrade because the park is like empty. Like I mean, not many people get platinum, right? So like you have a chance to ride almost everything without any wait, and that's an actual benefit
Right.
to getting the platinum.
Yeah. Yeah. I think that's great. That's a good policy. But and again, I get that at the end of the day, it is a business, and they're trying to let as many people get in there to see Dolly as possible. Plus do the rides, experience the new things. Um, but I would like to see some kind of tiering, kind of like you said, maybe do a Thursday just pass holders. Still maybe do more of an opening day / parade day on Friday.
Yeah.
But yeah, it feels like as a pass holder you need a little something because the preview it's kind of hard to preview something when you can't really see much. So
Yeah.
no knocks or anything. Just it's just some things that we would like to see happen.
Yeah, I think it's hard for them to take it away now that they've given it to, oh yeah, you can bring your friends. Like people have probably established traditions of somebody buying the
Right.
pass and bringing their friends, and so it's hard to take something like that away. But you can always add another day that's a different rule set. So,
Right.
but anyway,
Exactly.
we haven't talked in weeks, so we could be talking about we could sit
Oh,
here for three
absolutely.
hours.
Yeah, we could
But
go on for
yeah,
hours. Obviously, we won't bore our viewers
yeah,
with that. But you saying that, it did make me think of one more thing I wanted to mention.
yeah,
And me and my wife had talked about this coming home from Dollywood. Is I guess another way to look at this with the bring a friend passes
yeah,
is yes, we may not be fans of people using them necessarily on pass holder day, but you only get so many. So, in theory, if you use them on pass holder day, then later on, say busy days in the summer, busy days. Obviously, there's some blackout days for silver bring a friends closer to Christmas, so that wouldn't
yeah.
really apply there. But if you use them now, you don't have them later. So, you know, I
Yeah.
guess that's one way to look at it.
Yeah, though they were giving away quite a bit there at the end of the off season to try to entice people to get the season passes. I don't know if you saw that, but they had several
Right.
specials going where you could get an extra bring a friend, which they started offering that the day after I bought my
Of course they did. That's how it goes.
so anyway, I'm
Right.
not bitter or anything.
Yeah. Yeah. No, it doesn't sound like it.
You wanna fast forward to Saturday and tell us a little bit about what you did on
Yeah,
Saturday?
yeah, we can do that first. So Saturday, and I'm sorry, it just sometimes it all kind of runs together. So
Yep.
Saturday, we actually had the chance Friday night to stay over at the Christmas Inn in Pigeon Forge. Never stayed there. We talked about staying there. Place is absolutely beautiful. Service was great. Room was great. Nice and clean. Got to walk around the outside. Just kind of check out the property. Um, the inside of the hotel is just absolutely beautiful. So if you've been there, you know what I'm talking about. If not, if you've thought about staying there, definitely do it. They just recently, within the last year or two, made a lot of upgrades. So just um, great experience. So definitely check that out. But so we got up Saturday morning, checked out of there. We're staying at Heart Song Saturday night. So when you stay, and of course, Heart Song is one of Dollywood's resorts. So if you stay there, you get several perks for being a resort guest. One of which is you get a basic time saver wristband, and you get this
Yeah.
for your day that you check in, every day that you're there, and the day that you check out. So in our case, we only stayed Saturday night, but we got a wristband for Saturday and Sunday, which is a decent benefit, and I'll talk more about that in a minute. You also get their trolley service, their bus service from the resort to the park. So kind of like if you go to Disney a lot, it's a lot like their operation. If you don't want to use the bus, you can drive your car, and you do get preferred parking with that. So, quick little rundown on what I've kind of learned from that. This was our first time really getting to enjoy the perks that comes with staying at a resort. So and actually I've got it right here. So the wristband um, that you get, it kind of looks like this, and try to get it close here. I don't know if you can read that, but basically you get
Nice.
the time saver when you stay at the resort. You get a ride on Lightning Rod one time. You get a ride on Big Bear one time. It is not valid as Splash Country. Obviously, that didn't matter to us here in March, not open until May. And then it's not valid for Fire Chaser, Dragonfly, or Mystery Mine. So the way that I look at it is, so there's three coasters you can't use it for. Obviously, having it for Big Bear is a big plus because the basic time saver at the resort, you have one ride on Big Bear. If you buy basic time saver at the park and you're not staying at the resort, it does not include Big Bear. So I can't say that I really knew that prior to this past weekend. So just a little bit of information that I wanted to pass along there. But as far as like Thunderhead, Wild Eagle, Tennessee Tornado, just like with the basic time saver you buy at the park, you get 5 entries. So you could ride definitely those three multiple times if you chose to do it that way. Um,
Mm.
as far as the bus from the resort goes, so I've only done this, and I want to stress this. This is not me saying for sure that this is not. I'm not saying this is not a good perk. I'm not saying not to do this. I'm just saying we were there literally one morning. So this could have just been a total hiccup. It could have been, obviously it was the first normal day that the park was open, but we were told that there would be like 3 or 4 buses just back to back coming because we were outside at the area to be picked up around the side of Heart Song right before 9 o'clock. So the first bus was pretty much, it was like 5 minutes early. So we're thinking, oh, this is good. Um, there were a lot of people in front of us, so fair enough there. But those people were able to get on the first bus. We were on the second bus. So I thought, oh well, three or four coming. This will be, they'll have another bus here within minutes. Fast forward to like 9:25, and here comes
You
the
got that
next
pop up. You
bus.
got that Apple thumbs up bubble coming up there.
Oh,
There it
there we
is
go.
again. Like,
Nice. Okay.
uh,
Nice.
yeah.
Yeah, so like 25 minutes later, we get the next bus. The bus driver theirself was great. The drive from the resort to the park was good. No issues there whatsoever. Now, I will say, we were told, there it is again.
Yeah.
We were told it would be a 15-minute ride from the resort to the park. Now, my thinking is the resort is pretty much on property at Dollywood. The bus had to go out just like everyone else would drive out back onto the main road there. There's got to be a way to create some kind of back road entrance into the park. Um, I'm not that smart. I'm just a person that loves to go to Dollywood. I know nothing about that kind of stuff, but I'm just thinking there's got to, I mean, you can get from any resort at Disney to any park at Disney in 15 minutes. And I know
Yeah. They got
that
it. They got
right,
it smoothed out.
right, we've done it. So I know that's a longer drive. Again, that's not a criticism. I'm just sharing my experience of how it was. Now, to back up, did any of this matter? Did it cause us not to do anything that we wanted to do? Absolutely not. We got to the park in
Right.
plenty of time. We were able to rope drop. We did. Well, actually, no. You know what? That was Sunday. Let me back up. So Saturday, we were able to get in. We got up to Big Bear. We rode it. Everything was good there. Did have a little bit of weather, like I said earlier, to fight through, but no,
Yeah.
no real issues there. So all of that to say, the perks for staying at the resort are good. If you're going into it, do not expect the perks to work out as seamlessly as they do at Disney. That's not a knock on Dollywood. That's not a praise on Disney. I've done them both, and that's my experience. But again, it was one time, one morning, the very first day the park opened, where I'm sure they're probably training new staff. They've got a lot of kinks to work out. So just again,
Right.
take all that for what it's worth, and that may not be a whole lot.
Cool. Okay. Well, great. It sounds like you, yeah, had a good time at Dollywood. I don't know if you mentioned this. I don't think you did, but on Saturday, how many coasters did you get to ride?
Gotcha. So yeah, I've kind of lost track at this point, but we a bunch. We we rode. I know we did Tennessee Tornado. I did Wild Eagle. Did Mystery
Well,
Mine,
let
Big
me ask
Bear,
this: Were there any that you didn't? Were there any that you didn't ride?
Dragon Flyer. Just
Okay.
because. And this is something that I would stress to anybody. Dragon Flyer is a really good family coaster. If you have smaller
Yeah.
kids that they're not quite ready to do bigger coasters, I would definitely
Yeah.
spend the time waiting in line for Dragon Flyer. But where I'm a season pass holder and you can
Yeah.
pick the right days to go and walk on Dragon Flyer if you plan the right way, it's just not a
Yep.
coaster that I'm going to stand in line for.
So Dragonflyer was the only one you didn't do.
And Lightning Rod only because it was down. It was actually down the whole weekend. Now, backstory on Lightning Rod, everybody knows its history with maintenance issues, so wasn't surprised
Yep.
that, I mean, bless their hearts. The park has tried everything under the sun to get
Yeah.
this ride to operate normal. And I don't know what it is. It's just it
Yeah.
it fights it. It really
Okay.
it really fights
Well,
operating.
yeah. Well, that makes me even more glad I didn't end up making the drive for it because that'd be tough. That'd be a tough pill to swallow to drive as far as it is for me and not be able to ride Lightning Rod because I think we both
Right.
ranked it as our number one coaster at the
Yep,
park.
yep, absolutely, and it is a great ride. But that
Yeah.
said, I mean, we had a great time. We also, and I'll just kind of wrap up Dollywood because I know that we have some other things to talk about. But so
Yeah.
kind of had a good time with all that Saturday. Shot the festival video that I had mentioned is up on YouTube now, so you can go check that out. One thing I will mention this though, just for those that may go check out the video, I did not do kind of an in-depth review on the food yet. I go over the
Yeah.
menu so you can watch watch the video, you'll see everything that is there as far as festival foods. But I'm hoping to go back at some point before the festival's over and just kind of do more of a review of the food. So hopefully that'll happen. But Sunday, we went to the park. We stayed maybe 3.5 hours, rode some coasters early, got 2 or 3 rides on Big Bear. I think I did Mystery Mine again. I don't know. That might have been it. And I think I did Thunderhead. That's right. I did not do Thunderhead Saturday because for
Okay.
whatever reason, that's the one coaster I just couldn't find a short enough line. But got to do it a few times Sunday. And then we just kind of wrapped it up with that. Tried out a few more of the festival foods. Also, not to ramble on, but one thing I'll say about the festival foods without spoiling too much. Last year they had a hogback potato that was absolutely delicious. This
Yeah.
year they brought it back. Potato was still good. The toppings were still good. I don't know what they did with the barbecue sauce. Like last year it was
Not
amazing.
the same.
This year it was like 25% of the sauce that you normally get, and the taste just it wasn't last year. So
Hmm.
and again, that's just my opinion. You may try it this year and you may love it, and you might say that stuff
Yes.
last year was nasty, and that's totally fine. I'm just from my
Yeah.
experience, it good or bad, it was different.
Food is so
But
subjective. Yeah, you're
yeah,
right. Yeah.
absolutely. So, but yeah, that was our opening weekend at Dollywood experience. Thrilled that it's back.
Yeah.
Cannot wait to get back down there. It's going to be a great year, 40th anniversary stuff. One
Sweet.
thing, kind of the next big thing, is on or around May 3rd. May 3rd is a Saturday. It is their true anniversary date. The park originally opened as Dollywood on May 3rd, 1986. Um, so I would imagine they're going to do a lot of stuff. They have a new Dollywood sign over in Rivertown Junction that there's some stuff out there on social media. You can go see some renderings and stuff. It's not up yet. They just kind of have some caution tape. But I'm thinking that will probably be unveiled on that date. And then potentially Blazing Fury may reopen on that date.
Okay.
Just what I'm hearing in the rumors. But yeah, that's Dollywood. So, so what have you got going
Awesome.
on in your neck of the woods, Alex?
Well, you're getting very close. Yeah, getting very close to some parks opening here. I think the first one would be Kings Island on April 18th, and then shortly after that would be Holiday World, and then Kentucky Kingdom right after that. So,
Nice.
all those parks have new and exciting. Oh, does Holiday World have anything new and exciting this year?
So
No,
they
they don't
some,
actually. Yeah.
well, they maybe not in the park, but there's some new things going on with some cabins, right?
That's right. That's right. We can get to that as well. But yeah, so all three have new and exciting things, I guess, going on with them this year. Kings Island, having I guess some retracking of some of their major rides. The Beast, I think, is getting a quite substantial retrack. Kentucky Kingdom obviously getting Discovery Meadow and a rebranding of a lot of their rides that we talked about in a previous episode. And then, yeah, Holiday World acquired, what was it called? Santa's Cottages
I
there
believe
in
so.
Santa Claus.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's interesting that they're moving into having a resort uh, game because historically they've just been a theme park, and now they're sort of expanding to be more like I guess Dollywood has their resort there. So
Right.
I would imagine you'll see some like bus transportation to and from the park. You'd have to, I think, at some point. I don't know if that'll be this year, but it's only like a 5 minute drive from Santa's cottages to the park. So
Nice.
yeah,
Yeah. It probably at some point I would imagine Holiday World could benefit from at least one resort. I know at Dollywood
yeah.
there's already two, and according to everything we're hearing, there's probably going to be a third resort very soon. And I think the overall big plan is to get to 4 or 5 at some point.
Yeah, well, there's nowhere to stay. I mean, really, in Santa Claus. I mean, you've got the campgrounds right next to Holiday World, which is kind of neat. You've got, there's a nice Marriott hotel in Jasper, Indiana, which is about a 25-minute drive away, but like that area is kind of sorely lacking accommodations. So it makes sense for them to do this. Because I think a lot of people think of Holiday World as like a small, very small theme park. It actually has right on par with Dollywood in terms of attendance, yearly attendance. I mean, it's like 2 to 3 million yearly attendance, so it's right up there with some of the bigger parks. So yeah, I think it makes a lot of sense for them to do it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know just obviously Dollywood just it seems like you just keep getting bigger and bigger crowds, and even just the 2 or 3 years I've kind of been a regular there. Just in that short amount of time, I can tell a difference. When I first started going, even even some of the spring break dates, late March, early April, there were a few weekdays that I feel like I was able to just go and it wasn't overly crowded. Now I just feel like every day's crowded. You may get an occasional day, late, I don't know, early May, maybe before school lets out. And then same
Yeah.
thing right after kids go back to school in the fall. But other than that, it's just busy every day.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, I think the things to do, like, I think it's like it. Maybe it started during the pandemic, but I think people just missed being outside and missed doing things, and like there's just been a surge of all kinds of activities that are more physical in nature, right? And like, because I don't know if you felt this way, but like during the end of like the 2010s, it just felt like we were overly techno what's the right word? It's overly invested in technology, right? We're always
Hmm.
more TV was becoming popular and all, and I feel like that all that stuff is still popular, no doubt. But like I feel like since the pandemic, there's been more of an emphasis on socializing, getting out, doing things, being outdoors. I think all kinds of hobbies from like, archery and biking and all that seems to, at least in my neck of the woods, have gotten really, really popular. People you wouldn't have expected to do things like that. Oh, you're playing pickleball now? Like, you're playing all these things. And so
Right.
it's great. I think it's a good trend. But
Yeah.
just I think it's probably a result of the pandemic forcing us all to not be that way for a while.
Right. Yep. I couldn't agree more.
Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, anything else you wanted to talk about tonight?
No, I think that's about got it covered. I'm sure I had rambled way too much on the Dollywood segment, but just wanted to make sure we got all the information that I could
Yeah.
pull out of my head at the moment. Hopefully, at least a percent or two of that was helpful.
Yeah.
But no, I think that's got us covered, and obviously we'll talk a lot more about Dollywood, and I'll just say this: we'll talk more about Dollywood, and we'll talk about all of your other parks as we as we go throughout the year. But
Yeah.
it's at least what I can speak to about Dollywood. Like I said, 40th anniversary season. All the festivals. It's going to be a really great year. So we'll have plenty more to talk about.
Cool. All right. So let's see. The spill is something like and subscribe. Find us on Spotify. What else? What else we got? Is that
Yep, that's it.
all the platforms?
Like the video if you enjoyed it. Hit the subscribe button. Ring
There we go.
that notification bell so
Ring that
you.
bell. That's right.
That's right. So you get notified when our videos go up.
Yeah. Or is it smash that button? Isn't it like smash that subscribe button? Isn't that the not the
Yep,
thing
right
that they
here,
do?
smash.
Speaking of
Yep,
buttons, there's only
exactly.
one thing left here, and that's for
Listen,
me to try to find the
yeah,
button.
right.
And
Yep. Smash the button. Smash, hit like,
where
subscribe, all that good stuff.
where is that button?
It's right
There it is.
there. It's right there.